guys? Welcome back to Undefeated at Locals. It's your boys again, Marvin and Edgar, back at it with another roster review for Yu Yu Hakusho, the Dark Tournament. Which team are we showing them?
Today we're bringing you Team Uraotogi. This one is our first three-team member set.
Yeah, absolutely. We got three characters here for you guys. Who are we kicking it off with?
So the first character we're going to be showing you guys is Kuro Momotaro. He is a 6-hand, 27 health character with a static. Before the game begins, search your deck for a card with the word armor in its name and add it to your momentum face up. And then it is enhanced once per turn. If your rival has played 2 or more copies of this attack this turn, it gets -5 damage. And then enhance if you have if you have a face-up copy of this attack in your momentum, this attack gets +1 speed and +2 damage. What do you think about this one?
This guy has a whole lot of text, which I do find cool. I do not personally think it amounts to very much at all, just because of like always needing like the second copy of an attack or like the attack face up. So I'm not completely sold on this guy, but I think you are a little bit.
Yeah, so I very much compare him to Amajiki. So Amajiki gets a once per turn as well. His is a little more versatile in the fact that it just counts as momentum rather than needing a second copy of an attack. But like especially in this meta, I see a lot of second copies of attacks. You see Vile Seizing runs all the time. You see
Yeah,
Punch runs all the time. So I don't think it's going to be that rare, and -5 damage is huge. And his momentum play with the ability to use a lot of Amajiki's kit as well, I think is going to lend to him very well.
fair. His symbols are pretty good. Air, Chaos, and Earth has like a lot of damage reduction. So I hope I'm wrong about this guy. Uh, Currently, we are undecided. So let us know in the comments what you guys think about Kuro.
Yeah. Next up, what do we got?
We got his first attack here, 5 dip, 2 mid block, Armor of the Ape. This guy's a 4 mid for 5. He has a static. When this card is added to your momentum, add it face up. Of course, you know, it's his
Mm-hmm.
ability. Enhanced momentum. Your rival's attack gets -1 damage. That's pretty sick. I'll give him that. And then enhance, this attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for each of your momentum. How do we feel about this guy?
Uh, for this one, I don't see like this attack in particular very much.
Message from our sponsor, the Ween.
Yeah. Here you guys go. She's right here. She's having a time. So if you guys hear him in the background, it is what it is. All right, this is where we live. But yeah, moving on to the attack. The momentum enhance is pretty good, especially since basically once it's in your momentum, every attack is -1 damage
Yeah, for
forever.
sure.
And then the +1 speed, +1 damage for each of your momentum is pretty solid. Um, I don't think it fills the 5 diff slot that it needs to.
I don't disagree with you. I don't think a 4 mid for 5 is like really where we want to be in the format right now, no matter what it's doing, like stats wise for the most part.
Yeah,
Much better 5 diffs on all of these symbols. And like the momentum is cool, but like we're also wanting to spend our momentum most of the time, right? So
yeah,
eventually that's probably going to go away.
yeah. Especially like moving into his other attacks, we'll see there's better options.
Yeah,
So
so we'll give that a guy a miss.
yeah. Moving on, his 4 diff. This is Armor of the Phoenix. It is a +2 low block. It's a 4 high for 4. Again, when it adds to your momentum, it adds face up. It has a momentum enhance here. This attack gets +1 speed, and then this attack is +2 speed, only playable if you have at least 1 momentum. What do you think of this one here?
I think that this guy is very sick, right? 4 diff, +2 low block, 4 high for 4, already some pretty good stats. And then it's just doing itself more, right?
Yep. I feel the same way, and like again, this one I feel a lot better in your momentum. Um,
Yeah, this attack gets +1 speed is a much better ability, for
yeah,
sure.
exactly. So I think this one's going to be a hit. Definitely going to see this. Amajiki's going to play the hell out of this game.
Absolutely. Majiki gets so much from this kid, huh?
Exactly. Um, moving on, we have his ultra rare. What do we got?
We got Armor of the Wolf. All of these names are sick. The art's so dope. I'll give him that. Five diff, two high block. We got his ultra rare here. Five mid for five. We have a static. When this card is added, we're just going to assume that that's always going to be his static.
Yeah.
Enhance momentum. This attack gets +1 damage. Response after your rival passes on an enhance. This attack gets +1 damage. So opposite of chicken kick.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then it has EX3 and Powerful 3. What do we think about this guy?
I think so. Like again, it's just a five diff that I don't think fits as well as other five. This could just be Kraken.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Vast Chimera Kraken, yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
And I think that again, just it being a five diff, it needs to have a little bit more. Kraken just wipes your opponent's board out, commits their assets,
It's
and
a
then
high,
it's a high, and
yeah,
then it goes into your momentum and gives you bonuses that are much better.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so I think this one's going to be a miss personally.
I agree. One of the only UR misses of the set so far, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely a big one.
It sucks too because the art's so sick with
It
this one.
is.
Moving along, we go to another four diff. This one's a +1 mid block. Diving Phoenix Crush. It's a 4 high for 3. It's got enhance. If this attack deals damage, add one attack from your discard pile to your momentum face up. What do you think about this one?
I'm really glad this card's good because if they wasted this art asset, I would have been really mad. I think this card's sick. Again, very well statted for a 4 diff, +1 mid block. We always love to see that on our attacks. And then you just get something into your momentum, right? Like
Yeah.
anything that buys you a momentum turn two is just so good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hit here. Another one that just really lends well to his kit, being able to just stack more things into his momentum. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Moving right along into his foundations, we have a two diff with a +4 mid block. That is just so delicious. Uh, Body memorization here. It says enhance, remove. If two or more copies of this attack have been played this turn, reduce this attack's damage to 0. What do you think here?
I think this card's sick, right? Even with the +4 mid block, which is so rough. It's a non block, but it really makes sense for its ability, especially since, as you said before, you are going to see multiples of attacks, and setting it to 0 is just heartbreaking.
Yeah,
Your opponent, like when this is on your field, what's likely going to happen if your opponent doesn't have a good answer to this is they're simply not going to play the second one, right?
yeah. They're not going to play the second one. They're not going to pump damage.
Yeah, yep.
They are just going to leave it as
As is,
is.
yeah, like it just forces your opponent to play different, which is always a good thing in this game.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this one's a hit. You're going to see this a lot.
Yeah.
Next up, what do we got?
We got a one diff. This guy is sporting a +3 low block, cruel intent. We have enhanced flip. Your slam attack gets +2 speed. If it deals damage, your rival flips one foundation. What do we think about this guy?
Uh, I think this is bad seizing the advantage.
Yeah, I completely agree. Even on a one diff, like there's so many slots for the same exact thing, right? A
Yeah,
spam +3 low block. There's so many cards that can fill that slot like way better than this ever will.
yeah. So as a spam, you might see it, but it's a miss.
Yep, I agree.
Moving on, we got another one diff here with a +3 high block, fearsome transformation, and this is one of the funny like when I saw this when I was a kid. This particular scene, I it was mind blowing.
Yeah,
Like
no,
so much going on in this character.
absolutely.
But we have for its ability, enhance flip, draw one card. If you have no momentum, discard one card. Um, and how do you feel?
I think this card's very good, right? This is like most of the time when you use it, this is just going to be draw one, right? Flip to draw one is super good. We have spam foundations that say flip both opponents draw.
Yeah,
So this removes the bad part of like chivalrous competitor.
exactly. At worst, it's a loot. At best, it's a flip draw one.
Yeah.
So
So super good in either zone that you're using this.
yeah. Uh, Next up, we have another two diff with a +2 mid block, steaming spheres power. This card has enhanced destroy, add one slam attack from your discard pile to your momentum, and then response flip. After your rival plays an ability that discards one or more of your momentum, cancel its effects. What do you think about this guy?
I am not super sold on this one. it only tutoring a slam attack is just feels just so bad. Like, of course, we've seen things like pull no punches that's doing like a similar effect, but like punch was like a super wide keyword at the time,
Yeah.
right? Slam, I still don't think is going to get you there, and then its response flip is like negligible.
Yeah, I don't see like in Capture Evildoers days, this might have been
Like,
CX's play.
yeah, yep, for
Um,
sure, but
but right
now
now, outside of like the two characters,
that are going to be doing that,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I think this one's gonna be a miss, guys.
Yep, yep. And that'll end it for Kuro's kit here.
Next up, we're going to be moving into someone else's kit. Excuse me if I butcher this name. Shishi Wakamaru?
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. Shishi Wakamaru. This is why I'm having you name all the team names because I can't do it.
Yeah. Who do we have?
We got Shishi here, another seven-hander, 21 health this time, and we have a couple different abilities. First, we have a form commit, remove one momentum from the game. That is a really interesting wording on that. The next card you try to play this turn passes, no check necessary. And then we have enhance once per turn, add one card from your hand to your momentum. How do we feel about this one?
So this particular guy, I don't think he's going to see a lot of play. He gets to do his one cool thing at the cost of removing a basically RFU one card from your hand. You play one thing without having to pass a check. That's it seems really strong. But you are a 721. You don't get to string, and that one card that you play, like, is it going to be worth it?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I most likely not, right? Like, yeah, I don't see this character's survivability at all. Like, and it's yeah, just such a. This is like only a late game thing, right? We have to survive a turn to even get a momentum to then
Hmm.
use this
I mean,
form.
he gets to put it. He gets to put the momentum there, right?
Yeah, fair,
Enhance
fair,
puts the momentum there, discards it, plays it,
and then still just dies.
and then still just dies. So, I like he very much could be a sleeper, but I don't see it personally. Not with the cards we have currently. So this guy's probably going to be a miss.
Yeah, I agree.
Next up, we have his four diff. It's a +1 mid block, 4 high for 4, Banshee Shriek Slash. This one is a Fury Powerful 3 weapon.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of text there, and that's where the text ends, unfortunately. Once again, just another draft card. I am not a big fan of these at all. Like there several other card games do a draft like package, right? Like a little
Mhm.
draft booster pack. That would have been way better off than giving us these blank attacks. I'm not a fan, so I think it's going to be a miss.
Miss, yeah, for sure. And like last set, we got those the kids card.
They felt
Uh,
super fine,
yeah,
right? Like those were fun. These are not fun. Like at least those had like interesting static abilities.
yeah,
This just has keywords. It feels so bad.
yeah. Next up, what do we got here?
We got another three diff. So many three diffs inside this Yu Yu Hakusho set. I love it. We did not have enough of these. +1 low block, Cage of Hell. I love that name. Zero speed low for 2 damage. We got enhance. Your next weapon attack this turn gets +3/+2. And enhance, add this card to your momentum during the end phase. With stun 1 and breaker 1. Ultra rare. How do we feel about this ultra rare?
Uh, I actually really like this one. This attack clearly isn't meant to hit. Like it is. It's going to hit. Like
Yeah, yeah, you're just gonna take two, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
But it empowers your next move.
absolutely.
Shishi's kit specifically, he plays this at the end of a long string, removes a momentum, and then plays a big haymaker to wipe you
Absolutely.
out. I think this card's a hit.
Completely agree. Like Cage of Hell, sick name, sick art, dope abilities. Probably like one of the better pokes in the set here. This is just a zero low for 2 that bought you a momentum, even if you don't play your next weapon attack, right? Like
So yeah, that one's going to be a hit, guys. Moving right along, we have a 5 diff with a +2 high block. This is a 3 mid for 5. Call of the Reaper. This attack says combo enhance, and the combo is weapon. Ready all cards committed to pass the check to play this attack that have not been ready this combat phase. What do you think?
This guy is just terrible repeated 100% smash, right?
Yeah,
This is repeated 100% smash that needs a combo, and the combo is not super popular keyword anymore.
yeah, and like this, so this card is definitely meant to be played after the three diff. Gives it,
Yeah,
boosts its
play this
stats.
like on a freaking 9 or something.
Yeah, play it on a nine, ready everything, and then you get to do Shishi's. Oh, the next one passes and play another Haymaker. But altogether, like outside of Shishi, which already isn't going to be a great character in our opinion, this card's never going to see play in anyone else.
Yep, nope, I agree. It's 3 mid. This one's just getting blocked for no reason at all.
Exactly, and you're supposed to play it as you're like it's a three mid,
Third move,
and yeah, your
yeah.
opponent has three cards in their card pool that makes it a normal speed attack.
Yep, yeah.
Um, moving on, what do we got here?
We got a 7 diff. They've been really jamming these 7 diffs the last couple sets. +1 mid, chorus of 1,000 skulls. Such a sick name. It checks a 2, guys. Keep that in mind as we get into this. 4 low for 8. Enhance, you may remove a weapon attack from your card pool to pay for this attack's echo cost. And it has a Shishi Wakamaru response. After you make the check to play this card, if you have tried to play 2 or more copies of this card this turn, your check gets +2. So you have to have played this on a 7 and then on an 8, and then it has Echo. What do we feel?
So I mean, you played on a seven, right? The idea is you're playing the Echo.
Yeah, fair.
Um, Again, in Shishi's kit, this follows up that five diff that you readied everything for. So you play this on a 7, 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
commit out everything. Rather, no, you play this one on Echo, commit nothing, and then you play it on Echo and check for the 10. You
Yeah,
get +2 to your
fair.
check. Um, Not going to be in anyone else. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even run this one in Shishi. There are better cards that
No,
you could
at
run.
one point you were still playing this on a 7, and
Yeah,
it is nowhere near satted well enough to do that.
exactly. So I think this one's going to be a miss.
Agreed.
Next up, we're moving into his foundations here, guys. We got a zero diff with a +3 mid block. Banshee Sword Shriek. It says response flip after your weapon attack is played. It gets +2 or -1 damage. What do you think?
I think this guy is not very good, right? +3 mid block on a 0 always feels bad, and generally it comes with like a pretty okay ability. This one is just never going to happen, right? Like you either have to be playing a hard weapon deck. Again, I get that that's the intent here, but we're going off the fact that this deck is not good.
Yeah.
And then giving it to -1 damage, you're assuming that a ton of your rivals are going to be playing all weapons.
Yeah, and like we have other zero diffs in the format that are just better.
Yeah.
Something like floating around my babies
Yep.
is
Yeah.
still +1
Exactly.
damage but it's
Without.
repeatable.
Yep. And without like being keyword locked.
Yeah, so I think this one's going to be a miss for sure.
I agree. Next up, we got a 2 diff crowd's darling 2 mid block. First form, discard 1 momentum. Your checks to play weapon attacks get +1 for the rest of this turn. Pretty solid.
Hmm.
And then enhanced commit. If your attack deals damage, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. How are we feeling?
I actually like this one. So for like hardcore weapon decks, this card is going to save you. This card is going to let you string. This is like obviously very good for him, but outside of him and anyone running the weapon keyword, I think this card is going to see a lot of play.
Yeah, Toga loves this.
Yeah. And then it's commit. If it deals damage at the top card of your deck to your momentum, this very much fuels a lot of the other cards that we're getting nowadays that have, a lot of
Echo and like
momentum cost.
EX
Yeah.
powerful. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I think this one's going to be a hit, guys.
I agree.
Moving along, we got another two diff here with a +3 high block, Hungry for Fame. This card says enhance commit flip, add one card from your momentum to your hand. How do you feel about this guy?
This card's insane, right? We've seen this a very similar ability printed on tax with like ambush thrust and whatnot. Anytime that you just get to do anything to add an attack back to your hand is very solid, especially since you now get to look at your
Yeah,
momentum,
you
so
don't
you
get
can't
this
even
anymore.
miss with this
Amazing.
card now. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's gonna sure that one's super easy,
Yeah.
guys. What do we got next?
You got another 1 diff +2 low block, no restraint. This is going to be the last foundation in Shishi's kit here. We have enhanced discard 1 momentum. Your weapon attack gets +3 speed. What do we feel here?
I think a single use EX3 on a spam foundation is actually pretty decent.
Yeah, for sure. I very much agree here. Like, this is literally just EX3 on all of your cards if you want it to be, right? If we've stacked momentum, you're going to have the sickest kill string of your life.
Yeah. So that one's going to be a hit, guys. We're going to be moving along to the next character out of this team, Suzuki.
We got the clown.
Yeah, the clown is Marvin was super excited to see this card because of how they built him, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is like, again, Edgar had made mention of the thematics of this set. Once Edgar gets into the enhancements here, you're really going to be able to tell if you know what Suzuki does in the show.
Yeah, so he is a 627. He's got enhanced discard one card, draw one card. So just loot on his face is really good. Enhanced commit, you may try to block this attack with the top card of your discard pile, which can be super useful, especially since you're, looting here. You get to
Choose which card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then response tenacious, after you take damage, ready this card. So, even if you have to half block or if there's a throw, you get to do your cool thing again. Yeah, this guy is very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Like flavor and thematics wise, this guy is sick. He is actually a like I've been like doing like a thought experiment with him since we found out that the dark tournament was coming. Suzuki is obviously like a very iconic character in the anime, but I had no idea how they were going to showcase a character whose ability is the fact that he hides his abilities, right? How do you showcase a character on a card whose biggest threat in the show is the fact that you didn't know what his threat was? I would have never have thought of just looting, right? How cool to draw and discard, draw and discard. You don't know what any of these are. Very, very flavorful. I do not think it's very good though, right? Like, I
Same.
don't know how this character ever actually kills anybody. He will be extremely annoying. Don't
Oh,
get me
yeah.
wrong. It may take you several turns to ever even touch this guy if he just luck sacks the right zone onto the top of his discard pile every time.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely gonna be a miss. If there's a way to break them, we haven't seen it.
Yeah, yeah, I don't get it.
Moving right along, what do we got?
We got the first attack here. It's a 4 diff plus 2 mid block. Beautiful card strike, Suzuki the Beautiful here. 4 high for 4. Again, this is just another draft card. This just says EX2. You're literally just picking which arts you want on these cards as you draft them. So it's an easy miss. I'm
Yeah,
not even going to go over these cards anymore.
yeah. Next up, we got another 4 diff here. It is a +2 high block, beautiful energy blast. It's a 3 mid for 5. Combo enhanced, draw one card. You may change the zone of this attack, and the combo is ranged. What do you think?
I think this card's very, very cool. This is literally just draw one and any zone, right?
Yeah.
So we just make this a 3 low for 5 that drew us a card, and that is such a fine thing for a 4 diff.
Yep, yep. The combo's not even too hard to get, and yeah,
Yeah,
for a 4 diff,
super,
this is
super easy hit.
super good. So hit, moving on. So, what do we got next?
We got another 4 diff. He loves his 4 diffs, and so do I. +1 mid block, Dimensional Sphere. This guy has a 5 mid for 1, and I'm about to show you why. Response after you block with this card, remove the blocked attack from the game. When this card leaves the card pool, remove it. Thank God. And then it says enhance if this attack is not blocked, draw 2 cards and discard 1 card. How do we feel about this guy?
Uh, I think this was bonkers. You are literally telling your opponent, "I'm going to draw 2 cards." First off, the response is crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
The response takes care of so many problems in the format that
Yeah.
you're going to see this all over the place. And then when used as an attack, it basically tells your opponent, "I'm drawing 1 card."
Yep.
You're never gonna block a
A
5 mid
5
for
mid for
one.
1 that says stun 1 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like what some of you new players and even some of you veterans that just don't even understand how this ability works, this straight aborts the attack.
Yep.
So there's a reason that it's a +1 mid. It's going to block anything and completely remove it from the game. Such a sick ability that I'm so glad is only available at max 4 times in your deck.
Yeah. Uh, Very good, guys.
Yeah,
This one's going to be a hit for
definite
sure.
hit.
Moving on, we have his 5 diff ultra rare. It's a +2 low block Suzuki Flurry. It is a 5 high for 5 that says enhance, discard 1 momentum. Your rival must discard 1 card as an additional cost to try to block this attack. And then enhance, this attack gets plus X damage. X equals the number of cards you've drawn this combat phase. Max 5 unless your character is Suzuki. It's also got EX3 on there just for shits and giggles.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to see how many people create a lol alt win con with this. Like you're
Yeah.
at 5 health with 1 card in hand. Game?
Yeah. Yeah, same. I think this card is nuts. I think Suzuki specifically, and it doesn't even have to be 5. Suzuki specifically, or
Yeah,
anybody.
anybody that can give this thing any amount of damage, like you can once you see this in your in your opponent's discard pile, you really have to have that thought of if you're at low health, I have to go into my opponent's turn with this amount of cards in hand, right?
Exactly, yeah. So this one's going to be a hit. I think you're going to see it a lot,
I
guys.
agree, I agree. It has such an interesting ability. Very cool to see.
Yeah. Moving into his foundations.
We got a 2 diff plus 2 high block, beautiful Suzuki. Hey, they did the thing. First form, commit, discard 2 cards, and draw 2 cards. What a sick first form. And then we have Suzuki Enhanced, Tenacious, your attack gets +1 speed. How do we feel about this?
The discard 2, draw 2 always feels good as
Yeah,
a first form. That's great. That's perfect. It lets
yeah,
you set up your turn.
yeah, like it allows you to sculpt so many different ways, right? We're in mid game, so I want more attacks, or we're in early game and I have 5 attacks. I need more foundations.
Exactly. And
So
the
dope.
fact that it's Suzuki enhances Tenacious, allowing you to give +1 speed to things,
Yeah, this guy gets to run 8 copies of Talented Baker
he
in his
sure
deck, and
does. He
that's
sure
very
does.
cool.
So that could be something.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving on, we got his one diff. It's a +2 low block, Master of 1,000 Faces, and this is like one of the creepiest arts we've ever had.
Absolutely. It's Suzuki kind of not disguised anymore.
We have Enhanced Flips. If either player has discarded a card from their hand this combat phase, this ranged attack gets +2 or -2 damage. What do you think of this one?
I think this guy's going to be a miss. Like, obviously, in Suzuki, this is probably pretty fine, right? You're probably going to jam a number of copies in this. But I don't think Suzuki's very good, and I know this card will not see play in other decks, right?
Yeah, so if you've discarded a card, if either player's discarded a card, plus the fact that it's keyword locked to ranged really limits your choices on who gets to play
Absolutely.
this. There aren't many characters that are running both of those gimmicks at the same time,
I
so
agree.
it's going to be a mess for us. Moving right along, we have really good art here on his two diff +3
Oh,
mid block.
yeah.
Steel Muscle Explosion. This card says response after you discard this card from your hand to pay a cost, draw 1 card. How do you feel?
I don't think it's very good. Huge points for the art, as Edgar said. I love this. Please make this an alt art so I can hand it to some people. But after you discard this card from your hand to pay a cost, draw 1 card on a 2 diff. We've seen this effect so many times. This effect is still printed on cards that are usable in standard, and I just don't think we needed another one, right?
Yeah, this one's definitely going to be a miss. Uh, like you said, cards that exist to be in your hand to be used for other things.
Is generally not where you want your
Yeah,
foundations to be most of the time, so
yeah.
yeah. Next up, we got his last foundation, and of course, as always, it's the team one. 2 diff +3 mid block, Uraotogi expertise. Shit, dude, you screwed me up because you made me say this. Form commit, draw 1 card, only playable if you have played an attack this turn. And then Team Uratogi form, remove, build 1 foundation that shares 3 symbols with your character from your discard pile. Only playable if your character has the Uratogi trait. How are we feeling about this guy?
So it's a unique, and I, so minus the Team Uratogi form, I do like the first form commit. The form commit, draw 1 card, only playable if you have played an attack this turn. I like that because it is not an enhance. Again, I like things that let you make a decision through your turn. If I play out 2 attacks and want to continue and I can draw a card and see, or if I've played out my 2 attacks and committed way too much and want to turn into a build turn, I can do that. Uh, the form makes this good for me. How do you feel?
I'm not too hot on it. We talked right before the video, and Editors kind of convinced me a little bit. It's like pseudo like passing the torch, right? It's like probably like slightly worse passing the torch in my opinion. I don't think it's very good unless you're Team Uraotogi. So we're gonna be undecided on this guy. Let us know in the comments if you are going to be jamming this card into your non-Uraotogi decks. And that ends it for Team Uraotogi.
Yeah.
Overall, kit wise, most of them had some solid options here.
Hmm.
Character wise, maybe a little bit rough for the team, as the same thing happened in the anime. Very thematic UVS games. We
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
We love it. We love a team losing twice.
Favorite.
Oh yeah.
Uh, all jokes aside, though, like we could be wrong. Like
Oh, 100%. And like they're so flavorful, right? This set is really feeling like harken back to like League of Villains. I wanted to jam every single character from that set. I feel the very similar way to Yu Yu Hakusho. Every character I do want to just build a deck for and just like try it, right?
yeah,
Even the ones we've rated as a miss, I want to personally see that that's the case or not.
yeah. So let us know in your experience what you see when these decks come out. We'll be testing them ourselves and bringing you more information when those come up.
Yeah, if you pull that Clown XR, hit me up in the comments. I'll pay you some cash for it. But yeah, guys, keep a lookout. Just like we said, we're going to be releasing these team roster grades all week long. And then check us out next week for some HLC state of the game stuff. Let's see what the format's looking like. Let's see if any of the boys took it home. And yeah, catch us next time.
Peace.
Peace.